you
Mm.
were working as a poll worker, and yeah, tell me about this that you faced some controversy from being a poll worker.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, it's more than controversy though here. So, this was again, it kind of like brings into something to do with my son as well, because we worked together. We signed up together to be poll workers because again, he's taking government, and I thought this was a
Oh,
good, little civic duty and to learn about the whole election process and everything just by being a part of it. So we signed up to be poll workers back in July. We got approved in September. We went for our training, which was like a 5-hour training that you go for. And I just want to give you the little backstory before I tell you what happened on election day. So we were invited to a poll worker pep rally on Sunday night before the election, which was Tuesday. And this is November 8th election. And we were on there with all of the Fulton County poll workers, and they were all seemed to know each other. It was probably about 120 people, and then me and my son. And they all seemed to know each other. They all seemed to be part of the same like group. And they were all singing all these weird songs and everything, like saying, "We're gonna knock them out. We're gonna." Actually, I wrote it down so I don't misquote. It says, "We're gonna shut them down. We're gonna knock them out. There ain't nothing gonna stop us now." They were singing that song, "Ain't no stopping us now." Like just all these weird things, and I'm going,
mhm.
"What are you saying? What are you chanting in here?" Um, so
These are
that was that.
poll workers singing
These are
this.
poll workers doing this. Yes, it was very bizarre. It was very like I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. I'm like going, what is going on? Why do these people like what is happening here? So anyway, just had to give you that little part of the story. So now it's election morning. We show up 5 o'clock in the morning, or actually I got there like five
This is
ten.
on Long Island?
No, no, no. I'm in Atlanta now. So
Okay, okay.
I grew up on Long Island, and then I
Oh,
lived in the
okay,
city for a long time, and then I moved
okay.
down here like 15 years ago. Um so yes, I am in Fulton County, the most corrupt county in in definitely in Georgia, quite
Wow.
possibly the United States. Maricopa County probably having a little bit of a tie there, but yeah. So I'm in Fulton, and we got there in the morning, poll workers, and we got in, we were doing what we were supposed to do, opening up the polls, setting up the poll pads, putting out the signage, all of that stuff. Right before the polls are going to open, the poll manager comes over to me and he says, "You need to leave immediately. You are being fired, and you need to take your son with you. He's fired too." And I was like, "For what?"
Wait,
He's
out of
like, "I don't."
nowhere?
Yes, out of nowhere, out of nowhere. Meanwhile, I got 100 on my like poll worker test, just so you know. Like so did my son. I'm like, well, what is going on? And he goes, "I don't know, but you need to leave." And I said, I'm not leaving. You have to tell me why. Like there's actually a statute on the outside of the door that says if you interfere with a poll worker doing their job, it's a felony. So I told him that. So I said, "I'm not leaving unless you tell me why." So he's like, "I don't know. I'm going to call." So he's calling people up. He can't figure it out. He gets on the phone with finally with this woman, Nadine Williams, who is the interim director of Fulton County of elections in Fulton County. And she says, my AirPods might die, so I might have to just continue without them. But she says that she said it's because of a tweet you posted this morning. She's saying it to him on the phone, so I hear it. I said I posted a tweet at
Wow.
five. I said I posted a tweet at 5 o'clock in the morning that said, "Good morning. My son and I have just arrived at our polling location in Fulton County to ensure a free and fair election." And she's like, "Yeah, well, you can't post anything while you're inside a polling location." I said, "First of all, I was in my car. I didn't come in here till 5:10. We signed the sheets when we came in." So then, this is him talking to her and me like talking in the background. And then I said, "I want to talk to her." So I get on the phone. I said, "That's not good enough reason. I'm not leaving." And then you hear her like shuffling around. And then she's like, "Well, you also posted something on November 3rd that said you were going to take pictures inside a polling location." I said, "I never said anything of the sort that I was going to take pictures in a polling location." I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You need to leave now or the police are going to escort you out." And I was like, "What?" So anyway, there come the police, 6 of them with me and my son. And they are like, "You need to leave." And I said, "I'm not leaving." And they're like, "Well, if you don't leave, we're going to arrest you." I said, "Okay, I'm leaving." So then, because I'm not getting arrested and going to Fulton County Jail, you do not want to be there, trust me. And last place I was bringing is my son down there too. So we leave, we go outside. They're like, "You need to get off the property." So then I went across the street, and then I started like calling everybody I knew in the GOP and the,
Mm.
people in the news, whatever. And anyway, as it turns out, what they did is 2 hours later, they started pouring through everything having to do with me, anything having to do with social media, whatever, because they had already announced. I have all of this on video too and all on camera, that they had already announced that the reason that we were being fired is because I said I was taking pictures inside of a polling facility, which never happened. That's a lie. And
Wow.
so they knew that they knew that they screwed up. So then they started combing for things to try to find stuff. So then they see that I was at January 6th, right? So then they go and
Another
say,
thing we have in common.
okay,
We have to
yes,
hang out.
yay.
I'll have to go to
Yes, we do,
Georgia.
totally. Okay, yeah, come to Georgia. We're going out. So I was at January 6th, and just a little backstory of that. So I was with my kids at January 6th. So we were there with our, American flags and our stupid Trump signs and
Teaching
singing
your son
Journey
about
songs.
government or,
Yeah, we were
government
protesting.
corruption.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were singing Journey songs out on
Yeah.
like the lawn. It
That's what
was
people
like,
don't get. There was mostly singing and fun and picnics
I know
and families
everybody, it
and
was like kumbaya
dogs.
there with
Yeah.
everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
we met so many families in the hotel. We were
Mhm.
hanging out with them the whole time. We all walked together or standing together.
Yep.
We met some people from all over the place. And anyway, so when everybody walked to the Capitol, we were calling it, we were storming the Capitol. That's what people were saying. Like that was the line. We're storming the Capitol. We're all walking
It was
together.
like a joke because we were all just regular walking, like, n there
Right.
was
It
no
was walking.
storming
It
of
was
any kind
walking.
because it was a planned march point, and it's like, obviously, no one is
Right.
storming anything, we're just
It was
yeah.
approved rally, everything that we went to, the area that we went to, everything was approved. So
Yep.
anyway, we were up in front of on the lawn there or whatever. And you know how it was really cold that day and it was windy and everything? Well,
Mhm. Freezing. Yeah.
right. And so we were on the lawn, and when they were doing I don't know what, I couldn't see where it was coming from, but they were tear gassing, that it was blowing in the wind. So the tear gas was like blowing in our faces, and my kids thought it was like the coolest thing in the entire world. Like they were having the best, they're boys, right? They're like, oh, we
Yeah.
got tear gas. I'm like, oh, so much fun. They're like, I'm the coolest
So
mom ever.
fun.
Yeah. So we were having a great time. And we were like, oh, we're getting tear gas. Like, this is so funny. And anyway, so how when you were there, you couldn't get there was no cell service, right? There was
Nothing.
nothing because it was
Yeah, I got
so.
1 tweet out on the way there, and then that was it.
Okay, right. So while we're at the Capitol in front of it, I post, we are having such a great day. Like Mike Pence is a traitor. We're here
Mhm.
we stormed the Capitol. We got, tear gas. Like, I'm like, my kids have had the best learning experience of their life. I'm like, but listen, it never posted, right? It never posted because the thing, and I saw it spinning, it didn't post.
Oh, that's
So,
wow.
but then I'm walking, and 2 hours later, we're walking back to the hotel, and I guess it posted. Now, at this time, bad stuff had already happened, but I didn't know about it. We didn't
Oh,
know anything that was
right.
going on.
We didn't know
From
anything till, like,
from the
almost
side that I was
later
standing
on.
on, there was no way you could get in the Capitol. There was no entrances. I
Right.
didn't even know at that point that there was even more sides to the Capitol. I don't know, I'm an
Yeah,
idiot, but
yeah.
I didn't even know that. Like, so I didn't see anything going on inside the Capitol. I didn't see anybody going into the Capitol. I didn't see any bad things happening. And so I guess it uploaded then in that little interim on the way back to when I went back to the hotel. And like 5 minutes later, I got a phone call from my sister-in-law going, Laura, oh my God, did you look at your social media? Look at your social media. Like, what's going on? Are you okay? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I look, and then people are like, you're the insurrectionist. I'm like, ah. So I changed my storm the Capitol, right, to peacefully protested. But some social justice warrior had already taken a screenshot of that and
So you
decided to put.
deleted it and then
No,
redid
I didn't
it?
never deleted it. I just
Okay.
I edited it to say peacefully
Oh,
protested
faster.
instead of
Yeah.
stormed. And whoever that whoever took that, it blew up like insane. You have no idea. It went like I was on terrorist websites, me and my kids, like pictures of me and my kids. If you I got thousands of death threats, horrible
Yeah.
things said to me, the most vile, horrible things, FBI showing, follow me around. Like, it was insane, absolutely insane. So anyway, but that's all
Wow.
gone, that's all past,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, but they went and found that getting back to the
The
election on
poll.
November 8th,
Yeah.
yeah, they got that picture, and then they decided to say that because I was at January 6th, that that's why I got kicked out, which doesn't fall in their timeline at all because I have the videos and the audio and everything of what they actually said and when they said it. So they found this out 2 hours later and put a press release out. And then the press are coming on and telling, and then someone gets on and on one of the news channels and says that I was inside the Capitol. And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're
So
just
I got
they're so
so
confident in
defamed,
their lying. They are just, like,
so
so
defamed, so
comfortable with it.
slandered, like yet again, like here we go again, you know? So anyway, so that's what happened. And yeah, and I got my son and I got now my son got kicked out just by association. He doesn't have a tweet, he doesn't even he's never posted a political thing his whole life. He doesn't have Twitter, he doesn't have Facebook, he doesn't have anything. He has Instagram where he puts his music. So
Wow, yeah, simple act of so this was from an article that came out, and this is about 20 let's see, right,
this is just the other day. That's the Epic
this is
Times.
from the most recent election, yeah. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
the
it's
Epic
just the other
Times.
day. The November 8th election,
Okay,
the
yeah, I got my
midterms.
timeline. Okay, so a simple act of civic involvement has turned the lives of a Georgia family into a nightmare. Shortly before the polls opened on November 8th, Fulton County election workers Laura Kronen and her 16-year-old son were fired and ordered out of the polling place. The reasons for the dismissals remain in dispute because this fucking idiot leftists, they go, oh, they see that you post, free and fair elections that like they start foaming at the mouth, and then they're like, let's comb through everything you've ever tweeted and look
Yeah.
for reasons to get you out. It's disgusting. After media outlets picked up the story that Cronin had made posts on her social media accounts while at the Capitol on the 6th, an aggressive doxing and cancellation campaign sprouted up. Cronin and her family have since been the target of numerous death threats and thousands of other foul and threatening messages. The woke social media mob searched out people I know and organizations I do business with to tell them I am a terrorist. Some of my contacts and associates dropped me. Even some conservatives dropped me out of fear. You told the Epic Times doxers have called our employers, customers, my publisher, making slanderous accusations. This ruined the ratings of the 2 books I authored and cost my husband's business suppliers and clients. This is fucked up. Doxers
Yeah.
posted pictures of us on terrorist watch websites and sent 20,000 social media messages tagged to the police. I got this too, by the way. People
Yeah.
tagging the
It's
FBI,
fun, huh?
every show I ever promote at FBI, come get your girl, and I even like wrote a
Yes,
joke
exactly.
about it.
No.
William Trey
Well, you have
Kelly,
to joke, but it's actually funny
you have
now when
to,
you
because they're fucking
they're
retarded, these
crazy.
people. Yeah.
Yep.
William Trey Kelly, the chairman of the Fulton County Republican Party, told the Epic Times he found the Cronin family situation disturbing. Laura Kronen and her family have a good reputation. She loves her country and is concerned about what's going on in Fulton County. I believe Laura was targeted for her political bluster and her son was fired for no reason. This is like, I mean, talk about a homeschooling lesson for your kids.
Yeah, I
Like
know. I'm
they
like,
get
you learned a
to
lot today,
they get
you
to
know,
live
to my
through this.
son. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now he's living through speaking to lawyers and stuff because that's what's happening now, It's like these people are really they're just insane.
Well, good for you that your sons like saw you standing up for yourself, standing up for yourself and him in real time. You didn't back down. You asked questions. You were like, "This isn't right." You're like, "Let me talk to the person that's, let me speak to them directly."
Mhm.
Um, and obviously, like, you don't want to get thrown in that jail, but you
Yeah,
pushed
no, not Fulton County Jail, I
as
can
much
tell you
as you
that.
could. Um, an audio recording of the conversation made by Cronin captures William explaining to Cronin that she was fired because of tweets.
Yep, not
And they
anything
and
to
they
do with January
wonder
6th. They
and
tagged that on. They piled that on after to turn it around to make it be like, "Oh, no,
mhm.
she was a January 6er," and turn complete changing the narrative to what actually happened and that we were discriminated against because of our conservative political beliefs and turning it into a January 6th thing.
Oh, yeah, because they know that that's, like, the trigger word.
Yeah,
And
that's
they
the taboo word. That's
and they wonder why non-leftists are concerned with, election integrity when this shit constantly happens.
Mhm. I wanted to work the election because, I didn't necessarily believe that the 2020 election was totally above board. And I wanted to be a part of it. And
Yeah.
they made sure that I wasn't. And the reason that I brought that pep rally up before is because that's where it all stemmed from. The woman in there, the same woman who fired me, was on that pep rally, the head of the elections division in Georgia, or in Fulton County, I should say. And she is the one who, because I was asking what kind of history we're making, what's going on here, like, what are you guys chanting about? I stood out to her as someone who just wasn't one of them. So
Wow.
that's
Yeah,
where
because
the
you wouldn't drink the Kool-Aid, you wouldn't
no,
chant the,
I
like,
don't drink Kool-Aid, man.
whatever they were you're like, "It's too much sugar." I
Yeah,
this is
exactly. I'm
interesting.
diabetic.
As Cronin continued to defend her constitutional right to free expression, she said someone within the polling place called the police to report a disorderly person.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
don't
And
even
meanwhile,
care. You're there with your
meanwhile,
kid, and they're like, they don't
hey,
even care.
and you know what? The police, first of all, in their report, they don't even say anything about disorderly. It's not even like a real report. I'm not even in like, an incident. It's just like a whatever they called it. I don't even know
Yeah.
what it is. But the police, and again, I have them on camera also saying that that I was targeted for my political beliefs. They say it.
So did you
They're
start
like,
recording on your phone basically when this shit all started going
oh
down?
yeah, hell
Mhm.
yeah, I did. I got
Yeah.
everything because I was like, you know what? This stuff, no one's going to believe you after the fact. You need to record everything. Like I
Yep.
even recorded when I was being interviewed because I knew what these people do. They twist your words, they change it around, they edit it
Mhm.
into being like, you're saying something else. I recorded every single thing. Um, and the police though, what they told me is they're just doing their job. Like they don't know why I'm being asked to leave. That's something I could take up later, but Fulton County's paying them and, they have to do what they tell them basically. But then, a couple of other guys are saying like, yeah, but we can see you're targeted for your political beliefs. Absolutely. That's my opinion. That's what they said.
Yeah,
So
this is disgusting, and our culture supports this, you can slap January 6th point to anybody who
yeah,
who was even, touching a blade of grass, in Washington, DC on January 6th, and it's like anybody on the left can be like, "They're evil, they slapped a terrorist label on anything," and it's all fine, everyone is all good with it. It's like, it's really disgusting what's been
it
allowed to
is. What's
happen,
been allowed to happen to good people. It's funny because my family and I were on a cover of our of a magazine in our town this past month before, this September, October, whatever, October. We're on a cover of a magazine as being like, this great family who gives back, who does all this good stuff in the community, da da da. Da. And then the next month, like 3 weeks later, we're like America's Most Wanted in our thing. Like I walk in
Mhm.
places and people like stare at me. I actually went to the dentist the other
Really?
day. Yeah. Well,
Ooh, you're
I went to the dent.
famous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's great. I went to the dent, but I did go to the dentist yesterday, and when I walked in, they actually gave me a standing ovation. Like I knew nobody's political beliefs there or anything. They were
Wow.
like waiting for me to come to hear the story because it was everywhere. It was every news channel, every top
Wow.
story. It was as far as like the BBC and CNN
Wow.
and stupid Huffington Post and CBS and ABC and just it was ridiculous.
It's so good that you recorded everything, and this is just so blatant that I'm glad that there is press about this.
Yeah,
Okay, so they fired me for exercising my right to free speech. Why did they fire my son? He had nothing to do with my tweets. Was he kicked out merely because of his relationship with me? That's guilt by associate. It's fucking communism. That's what it is. One
yeah,
of the
it
6
is.
Johns Creek police officers that responded to the call from the polling place phoned Williams. The officer wrote in his report that Williams told him that Cronin had made a derogatory post derogatory on social media that
Sure.
mentioned
Yeah,
taking photos. How is that derogatory? That doesn't even make sense.
I don't know.
Taking
They're saying I implied that I was going to take photo. They changed their story so many times. It's
they're like,
like
"What excuse can we legit get her on that we can create?"
they can't. So that's why they keep plugging out the January 6th thing.
Right. Jesus. The police report says Williams stated that her office sent the information to the Secretary of State's office. Williams stated that the Secretary of State's office reviewed Cronin's social media page and found other posts of concern. Oh my God.
Yes, I
Other
have a political opinion. You know what?
wrong
Did they
speech.
do that for all the rest of the poll workers? That's what I'm curious about because I've looked up quite a number of them and they ain't writing such nice stuff either.
Yeah. Let's comb
And
through
actually, I never
everybody's
write
account.
anything mean. I never write anything mean. I just write facts.
Of course. Yeah. No, but they're not combing through everybody's social media like
Yeah,
just you because you wouldn't sing the song. A
exactly. I didn't sing
spokesperson
Ain't No Stopping Us Now.
A spokesperson for the Secretary of State's office told the Epic Times concerns were expressed by Fulton County, not by our office. Yeah, okay. Uh,
Right. Which,
so
by the way,
the
is something else that they lied about because they were saying that that Secretary of State's office said, yeah, I should be fired. And then the Secretary of State's office going, we never said that. So,
They're
you
all
know,
just like, it's like that Spider-Man meme where the 3 Spider-Men are just, like, pointing at each other.
yeah, and try getting a FOIA. You know, there's FOIA in Georgia. They have a 3-day thing that they have to give all the records. They give me nothing. I've put so many requests in, and they just ignore them. Well, we could just ignore a FOIA request. Like, doesn't matter. Like, I'm asking for a
Jeez.
copy of the pep rally. I'm asking for copies of my name being in not tweets, in texts and everything that went, back and forth that morning, and what was said about me and who said it and what was the timing of things. Nope. So now, it's almost a month later now, or it is a month later. It's exactly a month later, and they just ignore it just till they can get their story straight and erase whatever they have to erase and not, have it there anymore.
So this is the tweet that they had an issue with, but then ultimately, like, couldn't use to their advantage. And tell me if this is wrong, by the way. In a November 3rd tweet, Kronen encouraged her Twitter
That's the one.
followers
Yeah.
to stay alert, report everything you see, take videos of anything you think might be shady, but made no mention of taking videos inside a polling place.
Right.
So this is what triggered your
Yeah.
leftist
She
fellow
said,
polling
she
workers.
said, yeah, that I said I was going to take pictures inside a polling place. I said, never did I say such a thing. And in fact, first of all, that was November 3rd.
Mhm.
That's number one. Number two, I never mentioned being inside a polling place. I never mentioned that I was a poll worker. None of those
Wow.
things. So,
Yep.
and not to mention, if you watched, I'm sure you watched 2000 Mules, right?
I haven't
Um,
yet. I'm, like,
oh no,
embarrassed to
okay.
say I
Well,
have to,
that's
though.
okay. But the place that I was working as a poll worker was prominently featured in 2000 Mules, as the Dropbox goes. So when
Wow.
I'm telling people a week before an election to, take videos of anything shady you see, yeah, if you see someone shoving about stuff in a ballot box, take pictures of that, take videos of that. You're allowed to. You're outside. Never
Yeah.
once did I say do something illegal. Like, I would never. You can comb through
No.
my Twitter as hard as you want, and I would never tell somebody to do something illegal. Like,
We
that's just
we
ridiculous.
take
I haven't
videos
even
of
gotten a parking ticket in my
yeah,
life. You know what I mean?
we take videos of people beating the crap out of each other and
Yeah,
not
that's fine.
helping, so
Right, exactly, because we want to get a good video. So
yeah,
it's
I never said anything about election workers or poll workers working, in precincts using cameras, Cronin told the Epic Times. I never urged anybody inside the polling places to do that, and I would never do it myself. I think the authorities interfered with something from my words that wasn't there and used that as a pretext for my firing. What happened to the presumption of innocence until proven guilty? Well, not if you're right wing.
nope.
Cronin said she believes she first came under scrutiny after she asked a couple of questions during a Zoom pep rally for election workers held on
Why
November
are
6th.
election workers
Where
having a
he,
pep rally anyway? What do they
yeah,
need to be
why?
pepped about? Like, you're going in there and just like looking at people's pictures and signatures and handing them a voting card, like, and doing, provisional ballots if you need to. Like, why do you need to be like, you know,
Right.
cheerleading? Like, people had pom
Yeah.
poms and stuff. Like, what the hell are you
Make
doing?
sure the machines are plugged in. That's it.
Yeah,
That's your job. And make sure there's
exactly.
no shenanigans. Like, this is
Right,
how
right,
you know. The fact they're having a pep rally for the election workers tells me, like, what are you preparing for? Why,
right.
like,
Why are you getting
what's
everybody revved up? For what?
yeah, you don't see, like, postal workers doing a pep rally. I mean, I don't know. It's just like anybody with a job. It's just like, do your
Yeah,
fucking job. About
exactly.
120 of us attended. They were singing the song "Ain't No Stopping Us Now" and saying things like, "This is our final push. We are
Yeah.
going to make history in Fulton County." It's all coming down to us. I mean, how obvious can you get here?
And again, I have this all I audio recorded it in my voice
Mhm.
notes, the whole thing. So it's all there. Like, they
Good
can't lie about that stuff because I
good for
hear them
you.
saying it and I know who's saying it and which person's saying it. And,
Good
everybody
for you.
has a copy of that now. So,
Good.
but how far is that going to get me? Who knows?
You
But
have to
there's
try though, and,
right. I mean, I just don't sit back. I fight. I've been through the being canceled before, so I really don't care anymore. This is just like another day to me that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I just feel
mhm.
like these people get away with it and get away with it and get away with it, and no one ever stops them. And you need to make just the little people can make a difference with things like this. And if you back down, then it's like, when is a lesson going to be learned ever? People are just going to keep
Right.
repeating the same exact thing over again.
Wow, and so the FBI came to your house on January 18th, less than 2 weeks after the 6th. They came to your door. You didn't know if they were FBI or Secret Service. I told
Well,
them my
they were
lawyer.
Secret Service. They said it after. They said they were FBI, but then my lawyer spoke to them and they said we're actually
Wow,
Secret
so they
Service.
lied.
They
Awesome.
lied, and I have that on tape too. And they lied, and they said we're actually Secret Service. We know she filmed this. Tell her not to post it anywhere. We
Mm.
want to make sure she's not going to the inauguration. My lawyer's like, why the hell would she go to Biden's inauguration? Like, honestly,
Nobody's
why?
nobody was going, like, they weren't, it was never open to the public, it was only certain people were
They
invited, so
wanted to make sure I wasn't going to Washington, D.C. I'm like, "Do you look at me?"
that's
Like,
bullshit.
I think they actually felt stupid when they see me, when they answered the door and were just like, "Oh my god, like, do we really have to talk to this woman? Like, look at does she really look like a big threat?" You know? And then
Wow.
but then they followed me 3 months later, I was going to play tennis 'cause I really do you like playing tennis? Because then if you play tennis, then, like, we're
That's
totally
suspect. Yeah.
okay. No, I'm saying you. Do you play tennis? Because I love playing
No,
tennis.
no, I
Alright.
badminton, I've dabbled in badminton.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't played badminton, but I do play tennis. So I was going to tennis. I was going to a match, and I was 45 minutes away from my house. I drive there. I get to my car. I get to park. I get in the back seat. I'm getting my tennis bag out. I'm putting on my hat, and hear like click, click, and I turn around, and there's two people standing there with badges. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I'm like, did you follow me here? I'm like, oh my god, you effing followed me here. Like, how? What is wrong with you people? And you could tell they were
Wow.
almost like embarrassed. Like, I'm like, and I said, "You came in 2 cars." Like, first of all, how did I not notice that? Now I'm like super aware of what's going on. But I had like 2 people tracking me. And
Wow.
anyway, they're like, "Oh, can we talk to you? Whatever." And I was like, "No. Like, first of all, what you're doing is unethical. I have a lawyer. I have an attorney. You're supposed to be speaking to them. You're not supposed to be just approaching me and trying to talk to me." And I said, "I have to go play
Yeah.
tennis. So, are you arresting me? Because if you're arresting me, like, let's do this. But if not, I have a match." I said, "You're welcome to come watch, but don't talk to me."
Oh my god, did they
So
come watch? And they're, like, cheering
no,
you
they
on, they're
didn't. They're like,
like,
"Oh, we're gonna," yeah, it's like, it's funny. But then I go there and I'm just like, "Oh my god, like how, how am I supposed to go in the court and play now?" And it's like I was playing doubles too, and I couldn't even talk to my partner about it. But anyway, so
That's
um
definitely rattling, yeah.
yeah, so my attorney calls him, it's like, "What are you doing? Like, why do you keep calling? Why do you keep," they're like, "Oh, Biden's coming to I guess he was coming to my town and for whatever reason and wanted to make sure she wasn't going there." He's like, "Do you really why do you think she's going anywhere where he is?" Like, why? So they're like, "Well, we just got to check." And that was it. That was their extent, even though a million people were like, "She was
Wow.
inside the Capitol," back on that was January 6th time. But anyway,
Imagine, like, what the FBI could be doing if they actually were going after
right?
criminals, like, imagine what they
Could
could
you
accomplish.
yeah, instead of like, a tennis like mom, like what are you doing?
Tennis moms are a threat to our democracy.
They
Everyone
are.
but it's good that you knew your rights and you had a lawyer and, just didn't just like some people get nervous and they're just like,
Well, I
"Whatever."
didn't have a
Yeah.
lawyer in the beginning. I didn't have a lawyer when they first came, but I said I did, and then I was like, shit, anyone actually called up Harmeet Dillon. Do you know who she is, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. I called her office and she gave me somebody uh and they represented me for that. Um so that
Wow,
was
so
good.
they were just there to intimidate you because you directed them
Yeah.
to your lawyer and they never contacted him. They weren't investigating, they were just there to intimidate and control you.
Yep. That's it. You know,
Holy
they
shit.
just want to make sure someone like me doesn't get involved in anything ever again. Like, don't be a part of something, you risk being punished, you risk all this stuff happening to you.
Wow. I mean, you were very brave in the face of all this shit. So I give you credit. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Love you, get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.